You know, most of us are taught this one single path in life. You get a job, you work your tail off till you're 65, and then, finally, you get to retire. But what if there's another way, a better way? Today we're going to break down a really clear, step-by-step plan to get to financial independence and retire early, even if you're starting from scratch. Okay, let's get into it.
This right here is such a powerful shift in mindset. See, early retirement isn't just about not having to work anymore. It's about gaining freedom. And what's freedom? It's the ability to wake up every single morning and do exactly what you want with your time, every single day. Whether that's chilling on a beach or starting a new passion project, it's your choice.
So the way this whole idea is broken down is by putting people into three groups. You've got your drifters, who are just living paycheck to paycheck with no real goals. Then you have the dreamers, and a lot of us are here, who have big financial goals but no clue how to get there. And finally, you've got the doers. They have the goals and a solid plan to make them happen. This is the plan. It's what turns dreamers into doers.
So here's our roadmap for this whole thing. We're going to go through 4 key phases. First, we'll figure out your magic number, your freedom figure. Second, we're going to build a rock-solid financial base. Third, we'll look at creating multiple streams of income. And last, but definitely not least, we'll talk about making your money work for you.
All right, let's kick things off with phase 1, finding your freedom figure. I mean, think about it. Not having a clear financial target is like trying to run a race with a blindfold on. You could be running your heart out, but you might be going in completely the wrong direction. So the absolute most important first step is setting that target.
So how in the world do you find that target number? Well, there's this fantastic little tool called the times 25 rule. It sounds fancy, but it's a super simple formula that tells you exactly how much money you need to have invested to reach that financial freedom we're talking about.
First things first, you've got to decide how much you'd want to live on each year in retirement. This is your desired annual income. So, just for this example, let's pick a nice round number, say $50,000 a year.
Now, the next step in the formula is, well, it's about as simple as it gets. You just take that number, our $50,000, and you multiply it by 25. That's it. That's the heart of the times 25 rule.
And boom, there it is. Your freedom figure is $1.25 million. Now, why does this work? It's based on something called the 4% withdrawal rule. The idea is you can safely pull out 4% of your total investments, which is our 50 grand, every year, and historically, the market should grow enough to basically refill what you took out. It means you can live off the money without the original pot ever running out. And just like that, you have a target to aim for.
Okay, you've got your target. Now what? Let's move to phase 2. You would never ever build a house on quicksand, right? Of course not. You'd build a solid foundation first. Well, your finances are exactly the same. Without a stable base, the whole thing can just crumble.
And get this. This isn't some niche problem. The numbers are staggering. We're talking 70% of millennials and a whopping 40% of Americans who make over $100,000 a year are still living paycheck to paycheck. These stats really show you why building that financial foundation is so critical for everyone.
So how do you avoid that trap and build this foundation? The plan gives us 4 key steps. Number 1, you gotta wipe out that high-interest debt. 2, create an emergency fund, a safety net of 3 to 6 months of living expenses. 3, build up a great credit score. And 4, learn the legal ways to lower your tax bill.
And on the debt front, it's absolutely crucial to know the difference between good debt, like a mortgage that helps you build wealth, and bad debt, like credit cards that just sucks your money away. The main goal is to crush that high-interest bad debt. A really effective way to do this is the debt avalanche method, where you focus all your extra money on the debt with the highest interest rate first. It saves you the most money in the long run.
And here's a huge one people often overlook: taxes. Using tax-efficient accounts is a game changer. Things like a 401k, where you save money before it's even taxed, or a Roth IRA, where your investments can grow completely tax-free. That's a massive advantage that lets your money grow way faster.
Okay, so your foundation is solid. Now it's time for phase 3. Relying on a single 9-to-5 job for all your income? Man, that's like walking a tightrope 50 stories up with no safety net whatsoever. It is just incredibly risky.
Let's picture this for a second. Imagine your entire life is a platform, and your job is just one single spiderweb thread holding it all up. Now, what happens if that one little thread gets cut? Maybe you get laid off. The whole platform just comes crashing down.
But now, picture this instead. Your life is supported by a whole web of different income streams.
Yeah, the stock market might dip, or you might even lose your main job, but the platform stays steady. It's held up by all those other threads. This is how you build real financial resilience.
And you know, the best way to create these extra income streams is to build side hustles around stuff you're already good at and things you're actually passionate about. Because let's be real, when you love what you do, you're going to stick with it long enough to see it succeed.
And that brings us to the final and honestly the most powerful phase of all, creating passive income. This is where the real magic happens. This is where you finally stop trading your time for money and you start having your money make more money for you, 24/7, even while you sleep.
I mean, this is it. This is the end game, right? Passive income is what finally breaks that link between the hours you clock in and the money you earn. Now look, no income is ever 100% passive, but the goal is to get as close as you possibly can.
So where does this magical passive income come from? Well, this plan really zeroes in on three main buckets. You've got stocks and crypto, which are both pretty easy to get into, though you have to note crypto carries way more risk. Then there's real estate. It's a bit harder to get started with, but man, if you do it right, it can be an absolute powerhouse for building wealth.
And this right here, this is a perfect example of how to play it smart even with the risky stuff. So, for instance, the author only puts about 5% of his entire portfolio into well-known crypto coins. This lets him have some skin in the game for those big potential gains, but it also means he's not overexposed if that market takes a nosedive. It's all about managing that risk.
Okay, let's be real for a second. Having a steady 9-to-5 job is a great foundation. It really is. But if you want to reach that freedom figure quickly, it's probably going to take more. A side hustle that actually generates profit is the rocket fuel. It's what can truly kickstart and accelerate this whole journey.
Look, at the end of the day, remember this. Anyone who tells you this stuff is easy is either lying or trying to sell you something. It takes real work. It takes consistency and discipline, day in and day out, over several years. But the payoff? A lifetime of freedom.
So with this whole plan laid out, from finding your number to making your money work for you, there's really only one question left to ask yourself, and it's a big one. What is the very first step you are going to take towards your own freedom?